In this daily drop, I'm going to be talking about a little bit of investigation that I'm doing right now into nets for production. So let's go. All right, everybody, back in the barn. And this one is, I guess, part one of what will either be a 2 or 3 part series. And the reason I'm doing this is because I love nets. Nets are basically a modifier that you use in production, and generally, at least the ones that I use, are either single nets or double nets, where you have 2 pieces of this bobbin type netting over each other. And a single net is going to give you about a half a stop of light loss, and I call nets ND for the world. If you take larger versions, these are for the RoadRags and RoadRags II. If you take larger versions of these and you put them behind talent, far enough away that they don't moire, then they will cut the amount of light that is behind the person, so that if you had a bright sunny day and you needed to slow down or cut that light behind the person but still see what was behind them, nets are fantastic for that. They have many, many other uses. If you're using them in smaller sizes, 18 by 24, 24 by 36, things like that. They can also slow the amount of light down that's hitting a subject or a part of a subject. So for instance, if you had somebody who was being lit and they were wearing a white shirt and it was just too bright, it was overexposed, but the exposure on talent was where you want it, you could take a net and you could essentially feather that up into the light so that it was only slowing down and cutting the amount of light that was hitting their shirt, for instance. So lots of uses, but here's the thing. Nets are expensive, and when you start getting into larger sizes, 6 by 6, 8 by 8, they become really expensive. An 8 by 8 double net normally costs over $500 US. And I think part of the problem is that this material isn't made in a lot of places. So here's where I am right now. I have these smaller nets that I use with the RoadRags and RoadRags II. I have larger nets, but the largest one I have is a double. And again, that's about a stop and a quarter of light loss. And this is a 6 by 6. So I have an 8 by 8 frame because I run into situations where I have talent and I need to cut the amount of light behind them. And I'd like to have an 8 by 8 double net, but I don't have $500+ right now. So I found on B&H's website this company called CineGearFactory, obviously a Chinese company, and they were selling as a 2-pack here an 8 by 8 white double net. I don't really use white double nets. They bloom the light. In theory, they cut a little bit of the light as well. This might be good to put in front of a window in a certain type of situation. And then an 8 by 8 double net here. Now, when I compare it to the other double nets that I have, it feels like the 2 pieces of netting are right on top of each other and matching. And so it doesn't feel like there's going to be as much light loss with this. So when I look through here, as opposed to I look through here, this feels kind of like in between a single and a double. And it's not staggered, so I'm not sure that this is going to give me the same amount of light loss that I would get out of a standard double net. But here's the thing. This 8 by 8 double white and 8 by 8 double black, $90 US for both of them. So effectively $45 for each one. They don't have nice elastic on the corners, but they're all grommeted. And this is the beginning of the testing for me. What I want to do first and foremost is really figure out what kind of light loss I'm getting out of this double. And if it comes even close to a standard double net, And my guess is it's going to be, again, somewhere between a single and a double, but it might be closer to a single. What I've got to do that test is I've got to set up a key light. I have to basically point it to where I would be lighting a subject, put that net behind, and I have to take readings from behind the net, because what I want to see is when I'm going through a standard double net as opposed to this CineGearFactory double net, am I getting a lot less light loss or more light loss, which I doubt from this one? And also, is it affecting color temperature differently than a standard double net? So this is all part of the investigation of what I have to do. And I think I'm going to try to get it done this week because I'd like to use this in production. Again, I'm not confident that I'm getting a full double net out of this. Look, if I stretch this and I look through it, and then I stretch this double net here and I look through it, I think you can see that there is definitely a difference between this Matthews double net and the CineGearFactory. If they say things are too good to be true, they usually mean that. But even if this is helping cut light close to a full stop, and I'm using it on an 8x8 for $45 just for this one piece, $90 for the two, it might be worthwhile. I've got to do some more research. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll put links to this stuff actually the testing if you're interested in checking it out. But rest assured, in the next week or so-ish, I should be able to do these tests and give you an update. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.